Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Fraud is evolving at the speed of AI. The identity verification market, for the most part, has failed to keep pace with the rapid innovation cycles being driven by fraudsters and their adoption of Gen AI and other deepfake techniques, leaving banks and credit unions wholly exposed to massive increases in identity fraud, account takeovers, deliberate debt defaults, as well as wire fraud, to name just a few liabilities. To illustrate this point, my colleague Brendan here will walk us through some examples. You'll be faced with a choice. One is an image of a real-life person. The other is an image of an AI-generated person. Something as familiar to us as a face. As we go through the examples, we'll begin to, hopefully it'll be quite self-evident, that the naked eye can no longer discern what is real and what is fake. Now, this may be an obvious point to make, but maybe what many of you don't know is the identity market is still heavily predicated on a hybrid model, where basic technical checks are supplemented with human-in-the-loop or manual review of identity documents and personally identifiable information, and many times in offshore centers. Clearly, as the point we've just made here, this legacy approach in a post-AI world is no longer fit for purpose. And this is what's leading to the massive rise in synthetic identity fraud. What we mean by that is the combining of real and fake data to create a completely new identity with the intention of committing fraud. Okay, so what we're seeing here is fraudsters creating pixel-perfect identity documents combined with somebody's real but stolen data and biometrics, and using other deepfake techniques in order to spoof your controls for your own account onboarding process. So what does this look like in terms of cost? Okay, for any banks or credit unions out here, maybe listen up, because by the end of this year, for every 100 new members or customers you onboard, one of those will be the result of synthetic ID. For every incident of fraud, it's going to cost $90,000 on average. Okay, this is going to be an existential crisis for many businesses if they cannot get their arms around it. Okay, so as we said, fraud is evolving at the speed of AI, but thankfully so too is IDPAL. We are specialists in KYC, where we enable the real-time verification of an individual's identity and address, as well as performing sanctions and AML screening in parallel. My colleague Brendan here has probably got one of the most difficult jobs of anybody over the 2 days, for two reasons. One, we're a privacy-preserving RegTech company, so it's not going to be good luck if he displays his personal information on the screen. But our system is designed to prevent synthetic fraud from getting through. So his challenge is to be a fraudster and to attempt to submit synthetic ID. This will be the only demo you're going to see where we're looking to see flags and alerts as we go through the end-to-end process. Okay, so whilst he's going through that, let me just answer the question, why IDPAL? Why are we any different to all the other solutions there? Well, first and foremost, we are 100% AI-driven in our decision engine. Very simply, that means more accurate results in real time. The kicker, through our proprietary technology and techniques, we have zero access to your client data. And it is for that reason that we are the chosen IDV partner to MasterCard, Salesforce, Ernst & Young, working with the Department of Justice, as well as banks and credit unions across the US. Our SaaS solution can be branded, configured, and deployed same day across every customer channel, obviously for online remote onboardings, but also for in-branch, in-person, as well as via contact centers, to serve use cases such as new member onboarding, loan originations, high-value transaction authorizations, you name it. This IDPAL is your one-stop shop, multi-channel, multi-use case IDV solution. It was actually at Finovate last year where we, to great fanfare, I think, we launched ID Detect. ID Detect is our now award-winning suite of enhanced verification checks to detect and prevent against 99% of all AI-enabled threat vectors. Okay, as Brendan is going through the workflow here, and thankfully we're getting all the flags that we would expect to see, but if you'll forgive me using a little bit of jargon, We're using a suite of AI formats such as convolutional neural networks to look for the presence of certain security features we would expect to see within that document. We're using visual transformers to look for anomalies that might indicate tampering or forgery, and then we'll interrogate that further. We have those additional checks, essentially proxies for what would indicate this being an AI-enabled fraudulent submission. So we can tell, was the physical document present, or was it a photocopy of a document? For any of you eagle-eye viewers there, you may have noticed Brendan was actually taking a picture of a photocopy of an ID, as ID Detect has been able to call out. So a whole host of rigorous checks going to the document authentication, combined with our passive biometrics to ensure that the person submitting the document is its rightful owner, complemented with additional database checks to verify their address, as well as perform AML screening. This is all happening in real time, with the output file being our client due diligence report, providing a full audit trail of all the manual and technical checks, as well as the points of evidence captured. So that's ID Detect. More recently, we've launched IDPal Once. As the name suggests, once an end user or customer has gone through the multi-layered verification process with IDPal, they can reuse their, sorry, can we switch to the mobile, please? With IDPal once the customer has verified their identity, we can re-verify that individual literally in the blink of an eye, as you're going to see now from Brendan. So this is a biometric authentication of the individual. As simple as that. Ideal for step-up authentication, high-value transaction authorizations. The use cases are endless. So my name is James O'Toole. I'm the Chief Business Officer and co-founder of IDPal with my colleague here, Brendan. If you'd like to know more about how IDPal can help evolve your business to stay ahead of fraudsters whilst driving conversion rates with a very seamless experience as you've just seen, please come visit us at our stand after this. Thank you very much for your time.